There are 80 million people in Europe in energy poverty. And when we started the work on the observatory, being a northern MEP, I represent the northwest of England, Manchester, Liverpool, etc. I said nobody should have to choose between heating or eating. And 2 hands went up. And it was Miriam, who is a Maltese MEP, and Soledad, who is a Spanish MEP. And they said, Theresa, do you realize that in our countries in the summer, there are people who are sick or elderly who are dying of heat because they cannot afford to put their air conditioning on. Therefore, the strapline for our manifesto, which has now been adopted right across the Parliament, is nobody should have to choose between heating, cooling, or eating. And we have a responsibility because predominantly people that are in energy poverty are low-paid women and elderly people. I had the privilege of being a city councillor in Liverpool in the 1990s. And it was women turning up to my surgery who actually, their energy was getting cut off. Those women, because they were busy, and it was one particular woman that's always stayed in my head, fabulous, talented, single mother of 3, but she wouldn't open the energy bill until the red bill came, because she had so much else to do. So we are saying as Social Democrats, nobody should be cut off their energy supply because they cannot afford it. And secondly, people should automatically be put on the lowest energy tariff for them. Not everybody has got access to computers. So we have a duty to make sure that people are not in energy poverty. Anyway, I digress. However, at the launch of the Energy Poverty Observatory in January, guess what? 7 men and me. So I started my speech by saying, normally I am the woman of the left. This morning I am the woman on the left. And to consider that we could have something like the law, so we've still got so much work to do. However, in the UK at the moment, we're doing a lot of work on mentoring young women to actually get them elected. So I'm very proud to say that in my home city of Liverpool, we have over 50%, and we're working on more women as city councillors, because what's really important is we get women into positions of making decisions about other people's lives. And that is crucially important. And I remember, I'm going off script, but hey-ho, we're amongst friends. I mean, I remember when I had my daughter, she's 22 now, and she's in Australia, Mercedes, I'm so missing her.
Beautiful girl.
I have to say that. She's travelling. Anyway, hello, Bridget. I had to go into Liverpool City Council to vote, and she had been a C-section, and it was 6 weeks after I had her. So, of course, I took her with me. And guess what? Male councillors complained because there was a baby in the chamber. Now, we've come a long way since then, but the pay gap in the UK between men and women is still 18%. And quite frankly, this is a disgrace. Here in the European Parliament, half of the Labour MEPs are women, and 32% of MEPs are women, so we still have a lot of work to do, but we're getting there. But I fear, quite frankly, in the elections that are coming up, that balance will probably actually deteriorate rather than increase, and we all have got to make sure that we encourage people to use their democratic rights and vote in the European elections. And sadly, it's looking very likely that the UK won't be part of that. And I have to say, Brexit is a disaster for the UK, and it will affect low-paid women the most. The EU has made a massive difference in women's lives. Maternity rights, pensions for part-time workers, protection from harassment, and enforcing legislation where necessary. and the right for your job to be kept open for you when you have gone on maternity leave. All legislation born in the European Parliament. In the run-up to the referendum, I walked in on a meeting in this house when somebody was saying the best thing about the UK coming out of Europe is we can get rid of all of this unnecessary health and safety legislation. Now, we happen to believe that every woman has got the right to go to work in the morning with the expectation that she will come home safe to her family at night. Health and safety legislation born in the European Parliament and under threat in the UK by Brexit. As my good friend Mercedes says, look at the Equal Pay Act again, that legislation born in the European Parliament, and I have to say, brought about by fabulous women in Dagenham standing up for their sisters in terms of equal pay, and then ran with here by the wonderful Barbara Castle. The European Commission held the Tory UK government to account in 1982 for failing to comply and forced the expansion of the Act. Equal pay for work of equal value. I'll just say it again, equal pay for work of equal value. What a fundamental human right is that? And I'll tell you a story, and again, it's a personal story. The legislation in the UK about equal pay had to be enforced with several local authorities. And it was enforced in somewhere in the north, Sandy will know where it is, Bolton, called Bolton. And it was enforced for cleaners so that they could actually get equal pay for work of equal value. So those women turned up on 2 consecutive Saturdays to a sports centre in Bolton to be given cheques for what they had not earned in terms of the pay gap. And this was a phenomenal amount of money for those women, because it could be £2,000 or £3,000, which was a lot of money. There is something across the UK called Cash Generator. I'll probably get sued, but McDonald's have tried it, so hey-ho. Called Cash Generator, where you take your cheque and they give you cash. Cash Generator then took 19% of the face value of that cheque, 19%. What happened on the first Saturday where those women got their cheques? Cash Generator in Bolton ran out of money, because those women didn't necessarily have bank accounts, or they had overdrafts, or they were handing. So Cash Generator ran out of money. So by the second Saturday, we'd set up a credit union, but there is still so much work to be done in terms of equal pay for work of equal value and the rights of women. But as our moderator said, I am on the E-Tray committee, which is industry, technology, research and energy. And I'm very proud to say that this week we passed a report, I was rapporteur on women and digital education, and we addressed women and girls and the fact that, as Mercedes said, actually this training and education and mentoring needs to start when girls are 2. It's no point starting later, but we're also trying to address women returners to the workplace. One of the best things that Europe did for my region was they actually linked the 2 structural funds. So one is about structural development and one is about training. And it was the only training money at that time in the UK that actually paid you to go to the place where you had to train. And it also paid for your childcare. So there was an exponential increase in women returning to the workplace. And we have got to ensure that in this digital revolution, that no woman or girl is left behind because of affordability, because of education, because of training, because of stereotypes, because they live in rural or isolated communities. And we are at the moment writing amendments to every piece of legislation in this House to make sure that we address gender equality. Education in the digital era passed this week with one vote against only. And when working on any policy in this House, we have to have a through line that we look at any policy about how this affects women and girls. We don't put it into a box, which is digital or energy, clean energy for all citizens is what we're working on at the moment. It is a through line. And I happen to believe that digitalisation could be a fantastic, empowering tool, but we have got a long way to go. And also we know that whenever women are enabled to achieve their full potential, that local communities and local economies thrive better, socially, culturally, and economically. Thank you.